I call to order the meeting of the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge, April 10th, 2023, regular meeting, 7 p.m. I ask for us to give a moment of silence for all those who have died and who are in surgery and have been emotionally injured by what has happened in Louisville, Kentucky. It seems that there is gun violence happening on a regular basis now in the United States. So let's give a moment to that. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 9th of this location, date, and time to the town news and the record, and by posting the same on the municipal bulletin board and the borough website, and filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Kanigo,
Present.
Council President Kaufman,
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen. Okay, she's currently absent. Councilwoman Kinsella,
Here.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Here.
Councilman Benson,
Here.
Mayor Papaleo.
Here. Okay, so our first item is resolution 23-121. Resolution to go into closed session and exclude the public. Personnel NJSA 10:4-12B8 Police Chief's Contract. Could I have a motion from Council President Kaufman and second from Councilman Kanigo to go into closed session and exclude the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I call back into order a meeting of the mayor and council, April 10th, regular meeting. Could I have a motion and second to return to open session?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Kanigo,
Present.
Council President Kaufman,
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Here.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Here.
Councilman Benson,
Here.
Mayor Papaleo.
Here. Okay, so we're up to agenda item 6 for discussion, PSE&G high pressure gas main project. Ms. Apatola, I assume you're going to take this?
Yes. As the governing body is aware when discussed during the budget meetings, we will not be undergoing our regular road paving program because PSE&G will be in River Edge replacing the gas mains with the high pressure lines. So we've been meeting with representatives and our borough engineer, and the one issue in the document that had been provided this afternoon is our bond ordinance allows the utility to provide a $50,000 bond annually for any general work that they're going to do throughout the year in the borough. And the language in the ordinance says that in the event actual street opening work exceeds the posted bond amount, additional bonds and/or cash security will be required. Now, based on the extent of the work, they're doing the replacement from Howland to Manning, from Kinderkamak up to Van Saun Park. In that area, the estimated construction cost is a little bit over $2 million. And they cannot provide a $2 million bond. Their legal department will not allow that, as they are a utility. They're regulated by the Board of Public Utilities. And but the way the ordinance is written, I do not have any discretion to waive this portion of the statute. So PSE&G is requesting to be waived from providing any additional bonding, so that way they could complete all the street opening applications and obtain the permit and move forward with this very extensive project.
So it seems reasonable, but it's open for the council to discuss. Does the council wish to grant this?
Can I just, oh, go ahead.
I just had a question. Are all the other towns that they've done work in, have they all done this as well? And is our CFO okay with it?
Well, this wouldn't fall under any type of Myrna or revenue account. Whenever a bond is provided, then there's a maintenance bond period and the regular bonds performed. So it's just to have on hand as security. And every town's street opening permit language is different. There's not a universal template.
Okay.
Councilwoman Monticello Cohen, do you have a question?
Yeah, it was along the lines of Michelle's question, but how much money are we, if we waive that, what are we talking about at the end of the day?
Well, it doesn't have to be money, it could just be an insurance certificate. So there's no revenue loss in this. It's just a matter of that the ordinance is written in a certain way, they have a request. And if the governing body so chooses to grant the waiver, they have the authority to do so, but neither I nor Mr. Costa were able to just tell them, okay, it's waived completely as requested.
And if we waived it, is there any liabilities on us by waiving it, or that insurance certificate will cover?
Well, they have an insurance certificate. If anything happens, they're regulated by the state, by the Board of Public Utilities. There are inspections being performed. There's 2 sets of inspections. When the trenches are being backfilled, there are either Mr. Melito or his designee at the DPW will be there on site inspecting. And there's a fee generated. Then once the streets are milled and paved, there is inspection taking place by the borough engineer. So there will be oversight in the project. And that has nothing to do with the bond.
Thank you.
Councilman Benson.
I just want to make sure I understand this. So they have to give us a bond to back up the work that they're going to be doing in our town. Do I have that right?
Correct. Since they're a utility, they fall under separate guidelines as opposed to somebody building a house and the street needs to be open for a connection. It's not private, but this is for the betterment of the borough as a whole, and these lines eventually will continue throughout the borough, especially if they obtain further funding from the state.
But the risk would be that if they do something on the project that we need to correct, it's going to cost money from our
Right.
pockets.
No, they would have to rectify it. This whole project, all the responsibility is on them. If there are any issues, we cannot correct it. It's their work. And we can't bring in somebody else because they're our utility. So it falls, the responsibility, the liability, it all falls on them. It's just a matter of us having the proper documentation and showing that if permission to waive was granted, it was granted by the appropriate authority.
Okay, thank you.
So Lizette, would it be fair to summarize it that we have an ordinance that requires a bond, but
Mhm.
because they're utility, a bond really isn't necessary because we're already protected through regulation and through statutes?
They provide already their annual bond, the $50,000 bond. That's on file in the clerk's office.
Yeah.
It's just that since this is a special project
Mhm.
and the extent of the cost of the project, they are unable to provide a $2 million bond, whether cash or a certificate, because they are a utility.
Yes, but all in all, because of statute and because of regulations, we're really indemnified in every way that would seem, practical.
Yes, if there's any recourse, if there's a need for recourse, we have their insurance certificate. I have a great relationship with the government affairs liaison, Mrs. Verley, and they're regulated by the state. So it's not like we're dealing with an entity that can close up shop or go bankrupt or anything.
So could I have a motion from any member of council to waive the additional bond requirement. Lizette, would that be correct language?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
It is open for debate. Is there debate? Lizette, do you want this to be a roll call or is it by consent? Good enough.
This case, given the nature of the project, don't
Roll
kill me, Ann, but roll call.
No worries, no worries. I thought it would be. That's why I asked. Madam Clerk.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Council President Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallory,
Yes.
Councilman Benson.
Yes,
All right then. So that's been approved. Item 7, approval of minutes. Could I have a motion from Councilman Benson, a second from Councilwoman Montesano Cohen to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council budget meeting of March 18th, 2023, and approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council regular meeting of March 27th, 2023. And then if you need to abstain or for either one of those, you can do that afterwards. You're just moving it and seconding it.
so moved.
Second.
Now, if you need to abstain, but you can vote yes for one, you would wait until everyone else responded, and then you would say, I vote yes for one and I abstain from the other. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any that need to qualify or to say nay or to abstain? Okay, great. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Mallory and a second from Councilwoman Kinsella to open to the public on any item on the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Council President, if you could.
Yes, if anyone has a question or comment on any item on the agenda, just raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak. 1 second. Patty Elmberg, if you could state your name and address.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Patty Allenberg, 659 Fifth Avenue, River Edge. I just commenting on the Environmental Commission and Green Tea meeting minutes. Just letting you know, we have our styrofoam collection coming up this Saturday from 9 to 1 at the DPW. And it's also a shredding event. So styrofoam and shredding event. And then on the 22nd, the following Saturday, we have our Second Chance Toy Drive. So if you have any or know of anybody that has any of those plastic toys, like the sets outside or the big jungle gyms or the ride-on cars, that will be at Cherry Hill on April 22nd from 9 to 1.
I have a question, Patty. Is it okay if the paper has staples in it?
Yes, yeah, yep.
I just wanted to make sure.
No, they do. Have you ever seen those trucks? They're huge and they just
Yes.
shred it all. Yep, yep.
Patty,
Thank
so I just want to confirm this Saturday, starting at 8:30 till when for the styrofoam and paper?
Till 1 o'clock.
And then did you say the 29th or the 22nd for the toy
The-
drive?
22nd is the toy drive at Cherry Hill School,
And that one is what times again?
9 to 1.
Thank you. I just wanted to put it in my calendar. I'm going to
Great.
try to stop by.
And then we are also going to have a table set up on April 29th at the River Edge Run.
Outstanding.
So even though we don't have a specific Earth Day or Earth Month activity, we have lots of things, great things going on.
You absolutely do. And we thank you for all your work and efforts.
And we also have a few, I'll maybe talk later. We'll continue.
You sure?
Thank you.
Well, the other one, I don't want to go over my 2 minutes, but the other one is that number 16 on the agenda, new business.
Go ahead.
So it's just part of that Sustainable New Jersey that we are looking to recertify for.
Mhm.
And so there's lots of different ways to get points. That's a resolution that I don't believe we've had in River Edge before. But basically, at the very end, it's kind of that the town will consider looking into green building. And I know with the new building going up, I believe that is something that you have the architect, the planning board, I'm not exactly sure who, but I believe there has been things looked at in as far as green design, whether it's lighting or HVAC systems. So I think the resolution is just a good way to kind of back what the town, I think, is already doing, and maybe to put it out there for commercial and residential as well, that maybe people, and I know everybody knows they should be doing LED lights, and I think it's just a step in the right direction.
Excellent. All right,
Thank
and
you.
if we have some questions for you when we get there, we'll open to you again.
Super, thanks.
You're welcome, Patty. All right.
Okay, if anyone else has a comment or a question, just raise your hand on the agenda items. Does not look like there's anyone else.
Okay, could I have a motion from Councilman Kenigo and a second from Councilwoman Mallory to close to the public on any item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstentions?
Aye.
Hearing none, we move to item number 9. Could I have a motion from Council President Kaufman and a second from Councilwoman Monsanto Cohen, once I finish reading into the record, appointments and personnel change? There are several of these. Okay, appointment, first appointment, approve the salary change for Matt Ponchi, part-time police dispatcher for an hourly step 1 salary of $22.50 to step 2, $23.75, effective April 25th, 2023. Approve the salary change of Carolina Flores, part-time police dispatcher from an hourly step 1 salary of $22.50 to a step 2, $23.75, effective March 29, 2023. Approve the salary change of Cecilia, I believe it is, Iriola, part-time police dispatcher from an hourly step 1 salary of $22.50 to a step 2, $23.75, effective April 25th. Approve the salary change of Anna Pena, or would it be Pena? Part-time police dispatcher from an hourly step 1 salary $22.50 to step 2, $23.75, effective April 25th. Approve the salary change of Kate Sullivan, part-time police dispatcher from an hourly step 1 of $22.50 to step 2 of $23.75, effective March 29, 2023. Approve the resignation of Anthony Suarez, special counsel for COA, effective March 29, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstention? Hearing none, it's unanimous. We have monthly reports that the public can request upon demand from the clerk, Environmental Protection Green Team for March of this year, and tax collector for March of this year. Okay, we go to item number 11, 2023 temporary capital budget. So I'm going to ask for a motion and second, then I'm going to have our BA, Ms. Apertola, speak to it, and then of course we'll put it to a vote. Could I have a motion from Councilman Benson and a second from Councilwoman Mallory to move resolution 23-122, establish 2023 temporary capital budget?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's now up for discussion. Before we begin discussion, Lizette, Ms. Apertola, if you could please give us a short synopsis of what and why we're doing it.
This was recommended by our auditor. We had provided him last week with a copy of the bond ordinances that are being introduced, and in reviewing it with the budget document, it was his recommendation to adopt a temporary capital budget and have it in place while we wait to adopt the full municipal budget later this month.
So essentially, this is administrative action that we're taking.
Correct.
Does any member of council wish to ask a question or make a comment? Or enter debate? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Okay, in a moment, could I have Councilman Kenigo give a motion and Councilwoman Kaufman second the following first reading ordinances as I read it into record. A motion that the following ordinances be introduced and passed on the first reading and setting April 24, 2023 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter as a matter can be heard as the date, time, and Zoom as a virtual platform for the hearing of said ordinance. Ordinance 23-10, bond ordinance to authorize the improvement of Bogart Road, Section 7, in, by, and for the Borough of River Edge in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $348,240 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate a state grant, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. And ordinance 23-11, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, new communication and signal system equipment, and new automobile vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in and by and for the Borough of River Edge in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $4,961,747 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate various grants, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of issuance of such bonds.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Ms. Apatella, if you could, for the public's benefit, explain ordinances 23-10, what we're doing and why, and 23-11. You're muted, Lizette.
23-10 has to be separate from the general multipurpose bond ordinance because we are receiving a grant from the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the construction portion of Bogart Road, Section 7. That is just extending the concrete work along that line. And once we've done sufficient concrete work, we will continue soliciting grants to mill and pave Bogart Road. And 23-11 includes everything else that is in our capital plan, such as the Borough Hall renovation, vehicles for police and Department of Public Works, improvements to Brookside Playground, and other such items as stated in the ordinance.
Okay, any member of council would like to make a comment, ask a question, or enter into debate? This is the time.
I have a question. Where's section 7 in Bogart?
I don't have that offhand. It's past Cherry Hill School, though. Cherry Hill will be done this summer. That's part of Section 6, so it's a couple of blocks past that.
Any other question? All right, Lizette, if you could just tomorrow or the next day, just send a quick email to the council just so they know the boundaries of Section 7. All right, any other debate, question, or inquiry? Well, the inquiry is a question or comment. All right, hearing none, I call the question. Roll call.
Councilman
wait.
Kenigo,
This does not require a roll call because it's a first reading, correct?
Uh,
Yeah. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, for the public's benefit, it will be on again, in which case it will open to the public and the public may weigh in. We are now up to item 13, second reading and hearing of an ordinance. Could I have Councilwoman Kinsella move to open to the public with Councilwoman Monsanto Cohen seconding after I finish reading it into the record? We're going to do all three together and open all three to the public simultaneously. And then I believe we have to have a separate vote on each of these. So let's do that. The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on March 27, 2023, and posted on a bulletin board outside the clerk's office. Ordinance 23-7, an ordinance creating a new chapter in the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge entitled Filming. Ordinance 23-8, an ordinance creating a new chapter in the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge entitled Liability Insurance and Annual Registration Requirements for Business and Owners of a Unit Rentals or Units. Ordinance 23-9, calendar year 2023 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget according to limits and to establish a cap bank.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Ms. Apratella, if you could please, just for the public's benefit, give a quick synopsis of 23-7 through 23-9.
23-7 is to create in our borough code a filming ordinance. We currently do not have one. This is based off of the model from New Jersey Film Commission and vetted and fine-tuned by our legal review and codification committee. And hopefully River Edge will be on the map. If anyone read the paper over the past few days, just last year, there were 94 feature films and 18 major TV shows and series in New Jersey. And hopefully we'll get some celebrities and recognition there. 23-8 is required by state law that, as it is stated, that businesses and rental units have to provide proof of insurance, levels of liability insurance. We will be keeping track of it, and there is a fee involved also by registering. And 23-9 is the annual cap bank ordinance. The state allows a specific amount to be banked that's just set aside for future budget use. Doesn't mean that we have it on hand today, and we have 2 years to use it. If after the second year we don't use this amount to offset tax increases or to resolve any cap issues, it just goes away. It's like a hold on your credit card. If you don't use it, the hold goes away. And I believe all three can be voted on at once since they were introduced on the same evening.
Mr. Sarlo, can we do a roll call for all three of them simultaneously, as long as no member of council objects?
Yes, correct, Mayor. Yes, you can.
That's even better. All right, any member, we're open to the public. Madam President.
If anyone has any comments or questions, just raise your hand and I'll let you speak. Don't think there are any.
Okay, could I have a motion from any member of council to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, could I have a motion from Council President Kaufman and a second from Council Malari to approve as a group 23-7, 23-8, and 23-9 without objection? First, is there an objection to moving them as a group? Hearing none, could I have a motion and second to move them as a group?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this is to, we are now considering whether we wish to approve this. Is there debate, comment, or question? Seeing none, roll call. And you're muted.
Sorry. Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Council President Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Malalari,
Yes.
Councilman Benson.
Yes.
All right, then, that was approved unanimously. So we now move to item 14, resolutions by consent. Could I have a motion from Councilman Kinsella and a second from Councilman Kanigo to move resolutions 23-123 through 23-126?
So moved.
Second.
We are open for debate, discussion, or inquiry. Is there any debate about those four resolutions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're muted, Mayor.
Thank you. I don't believe Gabrielle or Martinez or Maria Martinez are present. Are you present under a different heading? Please raise your hand if you are. All right, since they're not, we'll put the oath of office off and they can come into the clerk's office and do it there. Okay, so now we're up to resolution 23-127. Could our finance chair move it and one member of the finance committee, any member, second it?
Payment of bills at a regular meeting of the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on April 10, 2023. Be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $1,463,866.48. Capital fund, $3,369.78. Grant fund, $1,101.08. Animal control fund, $55.20. Trust other fund, $9,761.99. Payroll fund, $47,302. Developers escrow fund, $2,818.61. Recreation trust fund, $895.41. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstention? Hearing none, we're up to item number 16, new business. Request by the Environmental Commission to endorse a resolution for green building practices. Patty has spoken to that. Do we have questions? Oh, Lizette, can you speak to that? And then we'll see if council has questions.
Yes, Patty's been doing a magnificent job calling together all the points needed for the Sustainable Jersey certification for the borough. And one of the things, she's pulled some resolutions, some that we've adopted in the past, but this isn't one of them, the green design. So instead of just putting the resolution in the consent agenda, I had directed that this be added on the new business for the governing body to review and consider whether to put such a resolution on for the next meeting.
So I open to the floor. Wait, who is our liaison to the Environmental Commission? Claudiana, I recognize you. Would you like to speak to this?
I know Patty is doing a great job. She's going, like, we sat down together at library one night and we're going point by point to see what we can accomplish and to get this sustainable Jersey for the River Edge. For the resolution, I know she's communicating with Lisette with a few samples that she put together, and Lisette sent something today, I think Lisette, was it?
Yes, those were different resolutions that had been previously
Before.
adopted, but they haven't been renewed in over 10 years. This is something that's completely new.
I didn't get a chance to look at those, but yeah, that's what the Environmental Commission is looking to do.
Okay. Any other member of council wish to ask a question, make a comment? Lizette, do you endorse this as our business administrator?
I think it'd be difficult to impose on other entities to have a green design. I know there's certain requirements for stormwater, but with green comes an extensive expense. And our architect is LEED certified, but the current designs, while we will have a much better HVAC system and better lighting. The municipal building is not a LEED green building. If it is, then it would at least double in price. So I do not feel comfortable passing this, endorsing it and hoping others follow suit when we aren't able to do so with our current project.
Okay. Any member of council wish to speak to that? Also, Michelle, can you please bring Patty online?
Sure.
Any other member of council wish to speak to that?
So One question. So
Yeah.
would this resolution bring or impose lead building, lead like the LEED certification that for those types of constructions that are more modern, more efficient? So that your situation, Lisa, is imposing that will create an additional cost in design. You're muted.
This policy isn't binding, but it says that the borough will consider opportunities for green building measures. But we're not considering that for our municipal building because of the cost. We will have a more efficient HVAC system and more efficient lighting, but it's won't be a true green building. Those types of materials would be much more expensive. We're replacing the roof. We're not putting in solar panels. So anybody who would see this resolution, look at it and be like, well, if your building isn't truly green, why do you recommend that I make my building green? That's the only issue I see with it. If we're not doing it but we're endorsing it, it really doesn't have teeth for others to follow suit.
Lisa, further?
No, I just think that if we're endorsing it, it's just we're not imposing it. I think what you're saying, it may not get traction because of just the simple act that our own building is not LEED certified.
Correct.
But we wouldn't impose it on new buildings because there will be a question of enforcement also.
Correct.
So-
We cannot enforce it. It's just we are endorsing it, but it's kind of counterintuitive if you're endorsing something that you're not doing yourself, especially in a big project.
No, I get it. I get it. I'm just thinking that even if we endorse it, if it's in the books, it allows future councils to point to this ordinance as we become more environmental conscious. So even if it doesn't get any traction right now, that's where I'm having kind of a difficulty saying no to it because of what we are doing right now. Just my opinion.
Absolutely. It counts. It matters. Patty, do you wish to weigh in? Can I have a quick motion and second to allow Patty Almberg to speak to this matter?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, Patty, do you want to comment on what we've discussed so far?
Sure. I think I understand Lizette's concerns, but Lisa, I agree with you. What it says when you read the whereas, the therefore be it resolved, I think that's the piece that's most important. It says that your green building policy will consider, so it's not holding anybody accountable. LEED certified is crazy difficult. I don't think any little, I would love, I don't know if there's any municipal building in the state of New Jersey that's LEED certified. That's something I'd have to check into, but especially for small towns like us, it's impossible. They're beautiful, but they're crazy expensive. So it says you will consider opportunities to incorporate green building measures. So not even so much design, the fact that you're considering an HVA system that is more efficient than the old one. It's design, it's construction, it's operation. So you consider green in your operations. Are you putting in like light sensors in any office, so that when somebody steps away, the lights go on? The bathrooms, for example, very simple thing to put in motion sensors in a bathroom. There's no reason those bathrooms lights should stay on 24/7. So those are things that you should be considering incorporating. So I think in that respect, the wording supports, I think, what we could try to do in River Edge. And the other thing is maintenance of municipal buildings as well.
Does anybody have a further comment or would like to ask Patty a question? Councilman Kanigo.
I appreciate everything that's been said, and Ms. Holmberg, I agree with everything you said, but I just don't see where this does anything. Like, let's say we pass this resolution, what next? Like, do we hand it out to building when they come in to get building permits and we say to them, please consider this because we'd like you to consider this, even though we don't do it ourselves, but we'd like you to consider it. I'm not trying to be facetious, but that's the
No,
message
I
we're
think,
sending.
I think what she's asking us to do is so they get points towards the certification for this, for the town. This
Oh,
is-
okay.
But,
I
but
missed that part of it.
But technically you are considering it. You know, you can't say you're not considering any of these measures. Because I think if you put in, you know, like these little, it doesn't have, we're not looking for like major, you know, like a whole fleet of EVs and solar panels and wind turbines all over the place. It's you're considering in any, or the things that we do as a municipality, whether it's at the DPW, the library, that you're considering things that you can do differently versus what we've been doing, right? Like, for example, in the chamber of the mayor and council, those beautiful chandelier things, right? How many light bulbs were in each of those chandeliers? Probably 20. So something like that is where in a green design policy, you would point to that thing and say, that is not environmentally sustainable, right? So you can't look at it as such a huge undertaking, but just simple steps to make us just a tiny bit more sustainable, right? More, little bit.
Councilman Kaniga?
I mean, I agree with everything you said. Again, I'm very environmentally conscious myself and I try to practice it at home as well. I just don't see where this resolution does anything unless you're telling me that it gives points and then that's something completely different. Then I'd be certainly willing to vote for it. But otherwise, I just don't see where it does anything. We don't have this resolution on the books and we're already considering the things that you're saying because we try to be environmentally conscious and there's just financial restrictions that we have. And if this is going to further burden our financial restrictions going forward, that's one of the things that gives me pause. That being said, again, if it's a question of getting points or getting some sort of recognition that gets us elsewhere, whether it's grants or whatever else, then yeah, I'm for it. But if it's just a resolution that doesn't have any teeth and doesn't do anything, then I don't see the reason for it. It's just creating paper for no reason. But I'm for everything you said, though. So let me be clear about that.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
I, listen, it's a step in the right direction. It's just saying that we would consider, instead of those light bulb, LED lights, let's say for that. Just step by step, little by little, getting to a greener environment that is sustainable. That's the way I see what Patty is trying to say, and I don't see the harm in doing that, in my opinion.
Anyone else? Okay, so could we just have a quick motion and we'll just do a quick consent, see if we want to do this. Could I have a motion and second to move forward with a resolution for green building practices?
So moved.
Second.
All right, if you're in favor, if you're not, say no. This is really just to see if we want to move forward. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstention? Okay, can we have a motion? Patty, thank you.
You're welcome.
Put it on for resolution next meeting, and I'm sure it will pass through. I need now a motion and second to close, to remove Patty from the debate.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, Patty, thank you. All right, B, May Historic Preservation Commission meeting hybrid format request. Who's making this request? Are you doing that? Councilman Benson, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Historic Commission just would like to do something besides Zoom, and so they would like to have, if they could, a hybrid meeting at the library on that date. And I think I checked with Lizette, and it appears that, and we checked with Dara in the library, and it appears like they have the room and the space. So I figured, and I believe the process would be to bring it in front of the council and get the okay.
So I just want to make sure, Barry, was this at a meeting where they brought this up, and was there a vote to move forward to make this request?
It was at a meeting, we had it, I don't know if we actually voted to move forward with this.
Was
I
there a
don't
consent,
believe so.
was there anyone opposed to it?
I don't think so, especially since it's hybrid, so I think that, I think maybe Phyllis would want to be at the library, maybe one other, but the others could be at home.
Any debate or comment from council?
Wasn't it Historic that originally asked us to go all Zoom for their members?
That's
And I
fine.
think the hybrid thing, if we let one commission or committee do it, then we're gonna have to let everybody else do it when they want, and it's gonna open up a can of worms. I don't mean to be mean, but I think we should just stick with what we got.
I see a lot of heads nodding forward. Yes, so,
We did approve the environmental committee last week to do the hybrid meeting. So that's where they're getting.
Well, we had brought it up before even that, like it had been brought up before that, but it just came up in this next meeting, and I said, let me just take some action on it.
but Claudiana, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought there was a specific reason environmental wanted to go to a hybrid. Wasn't that true?
Not a specific reason, just the next meeting, which is in May, I think. They wanted to do in-person library and have the hybrid option available.
Okay, so there wasn't a specific reason. So we've already granted this once. That makes it a little bit more difficult to say no, because why did we grant it for them and now we're not going to grant it for
I
another?
thought there was a reason, though.
I thought
But it
so.
wasn't for one meeting only though?
Yeah, it was one meeting only, and there was a reason that we were provided. I
Yeah,
don't
we asked
remember
only
what
for
it
the
was.
following meeting, the May.
Right,
one.
I
That's
think
it.
that was it. It was like a one meeting, so we were okay because it's one meeting. I guess the request here is for them to, moving forward, be hybrid. I think
Yeah,
that's the difference.
I think it's just for this one meeting. I honestly, I didn't get the impression that it's for all the ones moving forward. I think we would try it, and if they like it, they might, but then I could easily say, look, it was a lot of work, and the decision was that unless we open it up to all councils,
I don't want to speak for the council, but I think, Barry, you need to go back to the next meeting they have, which they should have an April meeting. Do they have an April
it's
meeting?
tomorrow, actually. There's a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we need more clarity. With the
Okay.
council agreement, because we don't mind granting this, but there should be a specific reason for it. Maybe we were wrong to grant it for the environmental. I thought we had a specific reason, but we shouldn't be just granting it to grant it, because now it comes before, it can just open the door to, request after request after request, and we don't have a criteria in which to say yes or no.
Understand. Okay.
Does the council agree with me, or am I reading it wrong?
Listen, was there a
Agreed.
specific reason for the environmental?
I think there was,
thought
Patty's still on as an attendee, if we
Patty,
bring her over as a panelist to
You know
confirm.
what? I think it's good. Patty, are you there?
She's on as an attendee. Oh, now she's here.
Moving over.
Patty, was there something for environmental? She's
We
not
had
showing up
just-
anyway.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It was just a request for a one-time in person, because we were going to do a recap of everything we had going on in April. And then right after this May meeting coming up on the May 16th, we have the river cleanup. So it was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
a way to do a recap and then plug
Prepare
our
for a
next,
major event.
yes.
Okay, so there was a reason.
And it's just a one time, we weren't looking to do it hybrid all the time.
All right, thanks, Patty. That helps with the information.
Thanks.
Unless the council disagrees, my sense is the council's going to say no unless there is a substantial reason. And we would like Councilman Benson to go back, and if there's not a substantial reason, tell them that we wouldn't be granting it.
Understand.
Not substantial, substantive reason.
Agree.
All right, everybody in agreement? Nod your heads. Good, okay, great. All right. And is there any old business? Hearing none, very nice. Could I have a motion second to open to the public?
Move.
Motion, so moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Council President,
Any comments or questions, please raise your hand and I'll let you speak. Ken Schopenhauer, if you could just say your address.
Ken Schaffenhauer, 780 Millbrook Road. Just had a question as far as the park lights at Memorial Park, specifically the basketball courts and everything. They've been off for quite a while. I assume maybe they were turned off in the winter when it's low or no usage and everything, but the lights are still not going on at all at this point, and did not know if that was a decision that was made or just an oversight or just a little history of what's going on with the lights.
Lizette, do you know anything about this?
No, I'll have to check with Michelle Ryan to see if there was an issue that requires repair or if it's on, the timer isn't set or whatnot.
All right. So Ken, we're going to try to look into that and we'll get it back up.
Sure. Just Michelle, I had reached out to Michelle. She's unaware of it. Wasn't sure whether it was a timer issue. She's deferred to the DPW. I had already been to the DPW and they say it's not their doing and everything. So it's, especially now with the nice weather coming, and it's a little bit of a safety issue, as even though if the lights aren't on the court, you still get the kids and people gathering and everything. So it probably is time. And I'm not sure, through the years, it's been different hours as far as turning off the lights, whether it's 10 p.m., 9 p.m., but right now, turning them on at 7:30 probably isn't a bad idea. And whether it's 9:30, 10, whatever it might be.
All right. So Ken, our business administrator, Ms. Apatola, will speak to our superintendent of public works and Michelle and get it straightened out. And hopefully we'll get it up and working by the end of the week.
Sure, I appreciate it. One other
Sure.
tangent or side question, as far as I know, a couple meetings ago, the borough approved the rewriting of the recreation director's position. I assume that it was approved. Is there a hiring process going on at this point, or where does that stand?
Ms. Apatola, if you could speak to that.
Unmute.
Lizette, you're still muted.
Okay, my computer was glitching. Yes, we are soliciting. The deadline for qualified applicants to submit their resume to me is this Friday. The ad has been posted on the League of Municipalities as well as the New Jersey Parks and Recreations Association, and it's on our website. In the ad, there's the link to the ordinance as well as the certification eligibility requirements. I have been receiving resumes, and after the deadline has passed on Friday, the Personnel Committee will meet to screen the applicants, and then the final set of applicants will be interviewed by the full governing body.
Okay, great, thank you. I think it's just important to get a full-time person back in that position. Just seems like a lot is kind of falling on Michelle and with a part-time position, and just need to address on many different levels. So great. I thank you very much for all your time this evening.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Ken. Good questions. We appreciate it.
I think Patty also had a comment. I'm not sure.
Patty?
Yes, I did. I feel like I'm going to be a pest.
Not
coming
at
up.
all. Go ahead.
So the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions has a grant coming up for $1,500. It's due on Monday. It's a one-page grant application that I'm happy to do. And they're for simple things like a pollinator garden, management of invasive species, trail building, printed online guides or maps, open space or trail assessments. If there's anything you can think of, I'd be happy to submit it. Just do a quick write-up and submit it.
So without objection, we'll allow Ms. Apatola and Councilwoman Mallory to consult with each other and then and get back to you. Is there objection? So Patty, just reach out to Lizette and Claudiana, or they'll reach out to you tomorrow. And if there is, great, and if there's not, well, then maybe.
Right,
next-
yeah. I thought either the library has a lot of plantings or the DPW might know if there's invasive species that need money thrown at, so
I take it this is a non-matching grant. This is a straight grant.
just a straight, yep,
It's always nice to get money.
yep.
So, Councilwoman Malari, are you okay with taking care of that tomorrow?
Yeah,
All right, great. Anything else, Patty?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Patty, you got to say your address for open public comments.
Yep, Patty Omberg, 659 Fifth Avenue.
All right, thank you, Patty.
Thanks.
All right, I think that's it. Could I have a motion and second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any council comments tonight? Miss Councilwoman Kinsella.
Just a quick reminder that Regal and Little League opening day will be this Saturday from 10:30 to 11:30. And hopefully it will be a great day out, nice weather, and hopefully everyone can attend.
And we're starting at Roosevelt, correct?
Yes, we are.
All right, and if you have your borough shirts, that would be a great day to wear them if the weather is cooperating. All right, any other council member? All right. Could I have a motion and a second to close to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Everyone, great job. Thank you.
Good night,
Have a
everyone.
Good night.
All right.
aye.